right away. So welcome back. If you are not present yesterday, kindly raise your hand. You see that hand button on your screen? Tap the button to raise hand if you're not present yesterday. And okay, Taiwo was not present. Obviously, he wasn't around. This is his first time. Raise hand. Yes, Anifat was not there. She wasn't around yesterday. Abib was also not on the call yesterday. So the three of them were not present. Thankfully, we recorded this session and the recording has been posted to our WhatsApp channel. We have a WhatsApp channel. So the channel is different from the group. There's a WhatsApp group from which we interact, we discuss, we drop information, updates about the training, as well as a WhatsApp channel where we post all the links to the recorded sessions. So whenever you miss a session, even if you are in the session, there are times that there will be need for you to go back to review what was discussed in the previous class, especially when you start with the practical sessions. There are things that you'll be taught in the classroom that when you try to practice yourself, you might have forgotten them. And then that will call for you to revisit the previous class. So you go to the WhatsApp channel and then watch the recordings. Now, if you are in the WhatsApp channel, if you've joined the channel, because the channel link was shared with us some time ago in the group. So if you have successfully joined the WhatsApp channel, kindly raise hand. Raise your hand if you have joined the WhatsApp channel. Use the hand icon to raise hand if you've joined. So Covenant has joined the channel. Elnora has joined. Justina has joined the channel. Who else? Runo, haven't you joined the channel? Runo, Anifat. Yeah, Taiwo, I just sent, Taiwo, the first link I sent to you is a link to our recorded session from yesterday's class. And also that link can also take you to the channel. You can join the channel from that link also.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Runo, does it mean that you've not joined the channel? Your hand, I didn't see your hand up. No, I can't.
I haven't joined
Yes.
the channel.
Okay, so I would, as we are on this call right now, I will drop the link to the channel again. It's very important that you are in the channel because all the recordings should be posted there. When you get to the channel, you will even find the recordings from the previous cohorts, like other cohorts. The recordings are all there, but your focus will be on the recording for your own cohort. So I'm dropping the link to the channel again in the WhatsApp group. Please use that link to join the channel. So when you get to the channel, whenever we have our live session, we record it. When you look at the description, you find the one for your class. For instance, the one we had yesterday, it's tagged live session 1, introduction to data analytics, and the date was also in the description, Saturday 17th August 2024. In bracket you find data decoders. So for all our cohorts, we usually give names to every cohort. Like I said during the onboarding session, I want to repeat myself because some people were absent for the onboarding session. This present cohort, we call you guys data decoders, which means that you guys will decode data and get insights from any data. The cohort that is concluding their training by next 2 weeks, they are called data pulse. So they do a lot of pulse play and a lot of insights, strategic analytics with data. So they are called data pulse. In time past, we've had data titans, we've had data geeks, we've had data heroes. So you've had different data cohorts, but your own cohort is called data decoders. So whenever you hear me call decoders, you know I'm referring to everyone on this cohort. And whenever you see a post about data decoders, maybe in our YouTube channel or in any of our social media handle, LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, and we tag, when you see the word data decoders, then you should know that we are referring to this present cohort. All right. So does that make sense? Please, if what I've explained makes sense to you, kindly give me thumbs up. Just give me thumbs up. Tap your thumbs up if it makes sense to you. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So while I was speaking, I noticed Ayodeji joined the call. Covenant joined the call. I also noticed Who else? I noticed who else? Someone joined. Okay, so I think we are all on this call. Yes, Uju also joined the call while I was speaking. You're all welcome. So let's continue from where we stopped. So yesterday we started with discussing the introductory part of this lecture or this training, and I started by sharing my learning objectives with everyone. We looked at the first objective, the second objective, the third objective, as well as the fourth objective. And then we started with this big question of what data analytics is all about. And two or three people shared their own idea of what they understand by data analytics. And I also went ahead to give you the definition of data analytics from my own point of view. All right. And then we went into discussing the various types of data analytics. We talked about the descriptive analytics, the diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, as well as the prescriptive analytics. And we went further to give detailed explanation between and the difference between these different aspects of analytics. And I did mention that we're going to dwell a lot throughout this training. Our focus will be on descriptive analytics. This is where you learn how to analyze large data sets to uncover trends, patterns, insights from past occurrences. And it also presents complex data visualization, which means that by the end of this training, you would have gained the skill of making some insightful and beautiful looking dashboard. So a dashboard is just a dashboard is just a kind of, I'll call it a platform that houses various types of charts, which tells some story about given any given data. So you learn how to do that by the end of this entire course, and you're going to learn how to do that using an interactive tool like Power BI. There are various visualization tools. We are going to mention them during the training, but the one we teach at the Defied Academy is Power BI. And thanks to the fact that when you learn one of these tools, you can transfer the knowledge to another. At our advanced class, as we are having this beginners level, we also have the advanced training. At our advanced class, we teach our students how to use Google Looker Studio to create visualizations. So, and all they did in the advanced class was to transfer the knowledge they've gained from Power BI into Looker Studio. But there are just some slight differences. And then you also learn how to get some real-time charts that will be interactive real-time. So when we say real-time, if people are filling a form, for instance, as a data analyst, if you should create a form for a particular purpose to collect data, as people are filling the form, putting their records in the form, the chart will be, you see it changing. If people are feeling, you see it increasing, you see a line graph going up or down real time. That is what we mean by real time analytics. And then can also create dynamic graphs for rapid comprehension and informed decision making. So this is where we dwell on throughout your training with us at the Defied Analytics and the Defied Academy. And then we'll do a little bit of diagnostic analytics, a little bit of it, but our focus is more on descriptive. And I said that when we begin to look at the predictive analytics, that is when you start talking about data science. So data science is a little bit different from data analytics, yeah, in the sense that for data as data scientists, we use a lot of machine learning models with some statistical algorithm to train models to do things for us, and we go into predictive analytics. We try to train models to predict stuff for us. We train models to categorize, to classify things for us. We train model. In fact, that is even the higher level of it is what we call generative AI. That is when you train a machine to generate things for you, and that is what a lot of AI you see these days do. AI like this open source, what is it called now? This open source AI, yeah, like ChatGPT and the whole of the GPTs, they are under the class of analytics, data analytics that got us to that point. So what does AI do is to generate idea based on how they have been trained. They use some powerful machine learning algorithms to train them. Some of them uses the concept of deep learning. If you want to know more about this aspect of data analytics, then you don't stop. In fact, even after this training, even if it's descriptive analytics, you still continue learning, you continue working on projects, you continue doing. So that is what makes Verified stand out from other training centers. We don't just leave you at the end of your training, provided you are willing, provided you are available, right? We don't just leave you, we help you get to that point of mastery. We still walk you through the process of working on projects. We help you secure some freelancing jobs. We, if you're open to our internship role, we get you on board as intern, but you have to satisfy some minimum requirements, which we are going to discuss as we move on. And then we went further from yesterday's class, talking about some types of data analytics. Why data analytics is important. And I said it's important to help improve decision making. It's important because it gives some better customer insights. And I did explain these points. I said it's also important because it helps increase efficiency and productivity. And then we went further to look at some real world examples. I did mention about Amazon, Netflix, Walmart, Ulessin, Airtel, and a lot of other organizations uses the power of data analytics. So we also talked about data analytics processes. We said the process involved include asking the right questions, getting the data sets for your analysis, preparing the data sets, which include data cleaning, transformation, data wrangling, and the rest. And then we explore the data, and you analyze the data, and finally you communicate your results. So I think that was where we stopped yesterday. We stopped at this point yesterday. So in today's class, we want to begin by looking at data sources and types. Data sources and types. But before I continue with today's class, I want to ask just one simple question. And let me see if I can possibly do this using a pool. Can I do this with a pool? Let me see if I have the privilege. Pulley. Oh, just give me a minute. I like to. Okay. So, guys, let me show you guys the power of data analytics. On this call, I will share another. I will share um another window. Okay. Let's do it together. I'm thinking about something. Let's do it together. Just give me a minute. I want to just collect data from you right now. Right now, I want to collect data from you, and then you see how to do data analytics from the very simplest, tiniest example that we're going to put up right now. How many of you have used or have seen a Google form before? You've seen or used a Google form before? Raise your hand. Let me see if you have seen or used. So, okay, yeah, quite a number of people. Great. Yes, in fact, I'll put it to you that every one of you on this call have seen one and you filled it. Why? Because you have all filled Datafied Academy registration form. So which means that you have all seen a Google form. So that form you filled before joining Datafied is actually called a Google form. So I want to show you how to create one quickly. We're going to create one in this class, and I'll collect data from you quickly, and then we're going to look at the analytics of the data right away. So I'm presenting another screen, and the screen is showing my forms window. If you can see my forms window, give me thumbs up. If you can see my forms window, give me thumbs up. Thumbs up. Yes, thumbs up is different from raising hand. Thank you very much. Now I'm here. So I am not by any means teaching you how to create Google Forms. It's something you learn in the course, but not now. But the reason why I'm doing this is I want to quickly get some data from you and then talk about the data I'll collect from you. So I come to this place and say, generate a new form for me. And Google brings me here and it gives me this interface. It's very easy to create a form with Google Form and very easy to modify. So I want to call this my form computer knowledge. All right, I want to call it computer knowledge, and then here I want to say rate your computer what? Rate your computer operation skill. Rate your computer operation skill. All right, so I'm using a linear scale, and I will say from 1 to 5. 1 would be no no knowledge, or zero experience, zero experience, and then 5 would be excellent. Okay, and I need this. It's just one field I want. I need it to be required. So no experience and excellence. So this is what I have done. So I want everyone on this call to fill this form. I'll come over to my I'll come over to my send, and then I'll click. I want a shorter link of the form. Copy the link, and next I'm going to paste it here, right here, and I need you all to fill this form. But before you fill the form, just wait. Let me give you further. Let me explain further what I mean by rate your computer operation skill. So tell me, when I say computer operation, if you know how to operate the computer, tell me, give me, rate how well you can operate the computer. You know how to create a folder, you know how to create a file, you know how to, if I say where is the tax bar, if you know what the tax bar is. If I say an icon, you can differentiate between the different icons you find on your desktop. If you know your shortcut keys, if I ask you to press Control Shift, Control or Alt, uh, Control Alt Delete, you know how to do that from your keyboard. If I ask you to create a new file, if you know how to do all of those things. So how well do you know how to operate a computer? I want to know that. So rate yourself from the link I just dropped on this chat. Open the link. If you're using your phone, don't worry, just go to the chat box of this Google Meet, open the link and rate yourself. So while you rate yourself, I want us to see how the input is coming real time. I'll refresh this, and then this is what you will see from your end. So if you know that you are excellent in your computer operation, go ahead and put it there. So I'll go to the responses. People have started dropping their responses, and you can see that the responses are coming in. So I have a 5, I have a 4, I have a 3. So somebody is saying they are good, that they are expert when it comes to computer operation. That's nice. So one person said that, okay, my skill is close to being expert. The other person, okay, we have 2 people that are on 3. Can you see the charts generating? Okay, 4 people, 2 people are on 4, which is 40% of the population we have here. Okay, let me see how many people I have on the call and how many inputs I should expect. So right now I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 people on the call, so I should have 11. We should have 11 inputs. 11 inputs. So currently we have 6. I'm waiting for the 5 more people. 5 more people. Please, everybody should do this very, very fast. Okay, I have somebody with a 1. I mean with a 2. One person is 2. Okay, so I'm waiting for about 4 people. Please, let's fill this form quickly. Just go and click on a number. Click on a number. All right, 8 people. So while you do that, give me a minute. I'll be back shortly. All right, so we have 10 responses. Who is yet to fill my form? Who hasn't filled my form? Okay, so let me work with these 10 responses. Yes. Now, you can all see what we have here is a column chart. This is a column chart that has the distribution of the responses of the respondents on this call concerning their rates, concerning their computer experience or their computer skill. And now, out of the 10 people who fill this form, I have 4 people who say that, okay, this is my rating. They rate themselves 4/5 on how well they can operate their computer. And then the remaining people, we have 2 across the remaining rating, 2, 3, and 5 respectively. So which leave us with, so which makes me at least comfortable to a large extent that when we begin the practical aspects, maybe it's only those people that fall on number 2 that rated themselves 2 that might have slight issues about clicking on the right keys when they are told to do something. Because when you start with your course from week 2, your course on Google Sheets, you would watch their video lectures, their instructional videos in a classroom that will be instructing you on how to perform specific tasks. Although, as the instructor is speaking in the video, you may see his face or their face in some of the videos, while some other videos you will not see their face. You only be hearing their voice and you see them perform the tasks or perform those tasks on their computer. Now, it means that a lot of you, almost majority of you on this call, those people who rated themselves from 3 to 5, will be able to comfortably and conveniently follow the instructions as directed in the videos. Why maybe those people who rated themselves 2 might have some challenges about the right key to click or to press. So if I say you should press an underscore, maybe they might not know how to do the underscore. And not knowing that you have to use your shift and your minus key to press underscore. So if you fall in that category that rated themselves 2, whenever we are doing practical, whenever we say anything on the call, and you don't know the key that was pressed, or a teacher say, click on the task bar, for instance, and you don't know what the task bar is, please feel free to stop us and ask a question. Say, oh, please, I don't know what you mean by task bar. Because if you don't get it at that point, the facilitator will continue his teaching. And then you are stuck there and struggling to find where the task bar is. Please don't be shy. Don't be shy. Remember, I have been saying it from yesterday and I will repeat it again. It's only those who ask questions that find their ways or that don't get missing. So if you don't get yourself missing, always stop us to ask question. It's your money, right? You've paid for this training. You are sacrificing time for the training. Therefore, you must get value for the training. I don't know if I'm making any sense. You must. It's a must for us. Now, do you know the reason why this is very, very crucial for us as an academy? The reason is because if you do well, at the end of the day, it will save us a lot of stress. It will save us money and it will save us time. So how will it save us money? We don't need to spend on adverts to get people to sign up. It is you yourself that will tell people to say, there's an academy I went to learn data analytics and they are great. And a lot of you on this call, you came by referral. It is one person or the other who have taken our course that referred you. Say, okay, they are doing well in that place. Please go and sign up. They will teach you well. Isn't it? Please, if you are referred here, give me a thumbs up. If you are referred by somebody who had done something with us, had done the training with us, or someone that great, you see, a lot of people on this call, they were referred. And that is because of the results we have given out. And for you to have that result, we have our own role to play. You also as a student have your own role to play. If we do all our best to teach you, to show you what to do, but you from your end, you are not doing that thing, then it's going to be a lot of stress on us because we are not here physically. We can't pull you. But so you have to do those things. Whenever you are stuck, please, I know why I'm saying this again and again, because there are times we've mentioned this and students will get stuck and they will keep quiet. See, I can't do that. I can never do it. If I pay money for something and I'm stuck and I'll keep quiet, then who am I doing? I'm doing myself. So make sure you reach out to us. All right? That is why the group was created. If you have questions, drop questions in that group. In less than 120 seconds, somebody will definitely respond to you. If you have questions, drop questions. If no response in after 120 seconds, 2 minutes, please drop the question again. Am I communicating, guys? If I'm communicating, can you give me a reaction, please? All right, great. Thank you very much, guys. So the reason for this is to be sure of where we are at. So thank God nobody is on the rate of 1, just from 2 and above. It means we are still good. If you need to improve yourself anyway on how to operate a computer, because what we are teaching is data analytics. We are not teaching you how to operate your computer. Am I communicating? We're not teaching you how to create a folder. We're not teaching you how to type. We're not teaching you all those. We are teaching you data analytics, how to become a data analyst. So these are two different things. If you think that you need help on navigating your computer, please get help, get extra help from anyone around you, or you can reach out to me and I can profile a solution. But what we are doing is data analytics. So if because of your inability to operate computer, you don't succeed in this course, God forbid, then you know that okay, let me fuck up, right? So that's why you need to speak up in case you know that you're not very good with operating computer. If anyone is happy about what I said, please give me a reaction. Let's get back to business. They're happy about what I said, please give me a reaction. Okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's get back to business. All right. Data sources and types. Data sources and types. Yes, for those of you who have already had access to the classroom from Monday, I believe you must have seen some data sources and some data types. Let's start with data sources. Now, if I call your name, give me one data source. When I say data source, I mean where does data come from? That is data source. How do we, as data analysts, how do we get data? So those are data sources. So if I call your name, please unmute your mic and tell me just one data source. If you don't know any, please just say no idea. All right? Nobody will crucify you, but try to speak because I want us to interact. I don't want to be the one talking from beginning to end. So according to how your names are arranged on my screen, I'll call your name. So Ayodeji is the first person. Ayodeji, could you please unmute your mic and tell us one data source that you know, based on the material or maybe based on your experience outside the material?
Maybe a survey.
A survey, beautiful. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you very much. A survey, great. Let me ask Justina as the next person on my screen. Questionnaire. So yeah, still very close, but yes, it's fine. Yeah. Anifat, can we hear you? Tell us. Hi, Anifat. Your mic is muted in case you're speaking.
Hi, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, in interview.
Okay, interview. Great. Interview. Yeah, that's another data source. You can get data from interview. So survey, questionnaire, interview, all of them they are still around one particular group. Okay, that is fine. Abib, do you mind telling us one data source?
Yes, I am investigation.
Investigation. Interview, investigation, survey, questionnaire. Great. That's also another data source. You can investigate something or you can investigate someone to get data from that, that process. Yeah, Covenant. Covenant is the next person, although Covenant is here to join the classroom. But let's see if you have an idea. Just anything. Maybe think of it. Data source. How do you think data is gotten? From where? How can we get data? Where do we get data from?
Can get data from what we see around us.
From what we see around us. Beautiful. Yeah, of course. I can get data from everything I see around me here. Correct. Yes. Runo. Runo. Data source. Runo had gone for
You
her.
can get the task
Okay.
via interviews
Their interview. Did you say
or
interview?
investigations.
Investigations.
Yeah,
Okay.
interviews or investigations.
Okay. All right. Although two people have said those two different sources, but it's fine. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me see who else. Elnora. Where can we get data from? Tell me one data source you know.
Social media posts.
Social media posts. Awesome. That is brilliant. I love that one. Social media posts. You can get data from social media. Awesome. Who else am I yet? Have I not called? Let me see. I think I've not called. Yes. Uju. Uju, one data source that you know. Hi, Uju. Are you there? I don't think Uju is here on this call, though. Okay, I would please the closest person to Uju help me nudge her, tap her, and say I'm calling her. All right, don't mind me. That's just me, just being kidding here. Blessing, let's hear from you. Tell us one data source.
Okay, we could actually get data directly from the company's database, from a company's database.
Beautiful. That is awesome. From company's database. Very, very correct. Yeah, I love that one too. You can get data from company's database. Let me hear from Anu Luakpo. Anu, one data source.
Spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets. Amazing. Spreadsheets. Yeah, I agree with you. Spreadsheets is also a source of data. I can get pull data from spreadsheets. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Taiwo, do you want to try?
No, sir.
Okay, okay, that is fine. Who else? Let me see. Someone is missing. I think I've called Uju. I've called everybody on this call, right? Yes, great. So you've all spoken well. All the sources you've mentioned, they are actually data source. And one of the very, very simple and highly relatable data source that we all even generate data on a daily basis. Everybody on this call, you have generated data, provided you have one social media handle or you have a presence in any social media, be it IG, be it TikTok, be it Facebook, be it LinkedIn, any social media space that you belong to, you yourself, you generate data and you can also get data from those sources. So then the next question is what is data? We'll answer that question, right? But let's look at what I've put together in this class and let's talk about it together. So one of the data sources that somebody mentioned on the call is databases. Now you might be wondering what is databases, because you see the icon, there's something like a cloud with two database, icons. So that is a database is just a place or a device that allows you to store data for future purposes or for future use. So companies, like what Blessing said, companies that generate data, they have databases. You see your TikTok, there's a database where all your posts are being stored. All your images are being stored. All your reels are being stored. All your videos are being stored. There is databases, and all those things you put up on social media spaces, they have different tables in the database that collect them together. Although for social media spaces, the database that they use in storing those kind of data is actually an unstructured database. We have a structured and an unstructured database. You will learn about those as we move on in this class. Okay, so databases are one source rather of data. That is where we can get data from. Am I communicating? You learn more about database, especially when we start dealing with SQL. Then another source of database is data warehouses. Data warehouses are similar to databases, but they are different in the sense that in a database, it is either you are storing your data in a structured manner or you're storing your data in an unstructured manner. But in data warehouses, data goes into that warehouse in any form. It could be in a in a clean format. It could be in a structured format. It could be in an unstructured format. Just collect the data and put it there. Collect and put it there. No any form of processing is being done. But in a database, it doesn't have, you can't collect data into one database that's of structured and unstructured manner. You have either the database is structured or the database is unstructured. So what do I mean by structured? For structured databases, those are databases that are created with tables that contains rows and columns. For those of us that have worked with Excel, Microsoft Excel, or Google Sheets in time past, or any spreadsheet package, you'll notice that for a spreadsheet package or a spreadsheet software, it comes in form of rows and columns. For databases that are structured, they are the databases that are created by the collection of multiple tables, related tables. Any data you're putting into that database must be in form of a table. So it will be in a table, then you store it in the database. Collect one table, put it there. Collect another table, put it there. Collect another table, put it there. That is a structured database. But for an unstructured database, like I said earlier, a perfect example of the kind of data that goes into unstructured databases, the ones that come in from social media spaces. Because on a social media space, you see your profile picture, there is a particular section that is being stored in the database. You see your background image, there's a place that is being created for it to house that image. So for an unstructured database is a kind of database that is used in storing different types of data. You can have image, video, post, write up, likes. You see all those likes? You say like my post, like my post, like my post, follow me, I follow you, follow me, I follow you. All those following and unfollowing, they are stored somewhere in databases. And that is the reason why somebody can like your post and you see increment in the likes. And that's the reason why someone can follow you and you can see the number of followers you have. Because if those things are not stored somewhere, the number, the incrementation you see will not be able to have been, done. And that won't be stored somewhere. So all those things you see on social media spaces, they are highly powerful data analytics. All right, so I hope you understand the difference between databases and data warehouse. And you now have at least, let's say, a faint idea of what databases are just by describing what I just said now. If you do, please give me reactions. Of course, we're going to go deeper into it when we get to SQL and you learn more about what databases are. In fact, the interesting thing is that you will have to create one. You will create database yourself, and then you begin to see the beauty of data and data analytics. And that source is application programming interfaces, API. So what's API? API is actually, if you look at it from the real sense of it, it's usually a key that gives you access into a platform. A very crucial example would be Twitter API. Let me share my experience about a project I worked on. I worked on a project that's a sentiment analysis project that classifies the sentiment, or that does sentiment analysis based on the feeling of people, based on their feeling, and I get their feeling from their tweets. So how was I able to access the data from Twitter? I needed to pull people's tweets from Twitter. So I used an API, Twitter's API. The API stands for Application Programming Interface. I used the API to pull the data from Twitter, and it was random. I didn't know those people who I was getting their tweets on a particular subject matter, which is climate change. So I got different tweets about different people from different parts of the world. I put that and then used the tweets to run some sentiment analysis. Let me know, I was trying to know who among those people who tweeted about the climate change, what's their perspective about climate change? Will they believe in climate change? And if they do, to what direction? Is it that, okay, there's something we can do about climate? And I did that because of a company who was interested in climate change based on the products they are selling. They want to know who to market to. So with the analytics I did, I was able to recommend the set of people they can market to and their product will sell. Do you see the power of data analytics? So those things you post on social media, people are there pulling them, using them for analysis, and getting them to even give you some recommendations. They're using them to sell some products to you. So with the analysis I did, the company was able to market their product to those people who have some positive vibes about climate change because they are into the business of climate change. Does that make sense? Please, do you understand what I mean by API? It's like a key. Different platforms have their API, which will allow you to collect data from a particular source. Please, do you understand what I said about API? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Give me a minute. Yes. Yes, someone's hand is up. Let me hear you, Ayodeji.
So, sorry, you were talking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Yes. Sorry, you were talking about API. So this, what you just said, is like a brief explanation of API or an API. So, are you saying that we'll still learn what an API fully entails on the journey, like when we do some other stuffs.
Okay,
Because
yeah,
sounds like you summarized it.
sure. I just summarized it, right? Because yeah, when we've not started the practical aspects, we're still dealing with the theoretical aspect, trying to explain some of these terminologies to get you to understand at least what you're going to see in the future. But do I say fortunately or unfortunately, we will not touch on API on at this beginner's level. Will not teach you how to use API, because when you begin to use API, even if Power BI allows you to use API to extract data, like I said, it's just like a key. When you see some API of a platform, you just like long number with keys, different keys that you have to put into somewhere that will give you access to collect data from somewhere. Like the example I cited, which is a project I worked on using Twitter. Twitter has its API. Facebook has its API. TikTok has its API. So there are different APIs for different platforms. So before you can extract, you can't just go there and say you want to get data from even LinkedIn. I also did another project on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has its API. So you need to use that API to extract data from that interface, or that's why it's called application programming interfaces. So to drag data from that interface out. So if you don't have that API, if you don't have the API of that stuff, you can't get data from that place. Do you understand? So not at this level, maybe at the advanced level, you introduce to how to get data using API. But there are so many data sources that you touch on, get to interested, then you begin to prepare your mind to join our advanced class. Does that make sense, Ayodeji? I can't see reaction from you. Does that make sense? Did you hear me? Awesome. So let's move on to the next source, data source. We have file systems. What do I mean by file systems? File systems in the sense that, like your Microsoft Word, your Excel, your email addresses. So any file, any system that you can, any file that you can have in your computer, you can extract data from there. Okay, so file systems also is a source of data. So most times in your office, someone can just come and say, "Oh, here is this Excel workbook. Please, I have some data set in it. Kindly extract the data sets, use it to do XYZ analysis, and give me your result." So that's an example of file system. Even in Microsoft Word, although I don't know why people store data in Microsoft Word, but I've seen it in time past. I've seen it before where people collect data and put it on Microsoft Word. It's very difficult, and it's very boring. Not even difficult. It's very boring to store data in Microsoft Word. You see people creating tables. They will create tables in Microsoft Word and begin to populate it with data. Who does that? Why do you do that? Why do you do that? You can get the data back from there to Excel, but it's a lot of work to do. All right. If you want to collect anything data, please think of Excel, even if you must use a file system. So those are examples of file systems where you can get data from. All right. Then we also have streaming. Streaming can get data from streaming. There are a lot of people that does live streaming from different platforms, from YouTube, from Netflix, from even from TikTok. Some people stream live. So live streaming can also generate data, because after the streaming, there's a place that is being stored and people can extract it. Then web scraping. Web scraping is another interesting aspect. Web, most times you use it together with API, like I said. Some websites are not open, they are not free for anyone to come and scrape their content, while other websites are. Web scraping is for the just concluded Nigerian election. I was opportune to be part of some team that did that was getting some the what's it called now, the registration for people who registered for voting. We want to get people who register for voting from different parts of the country, and then we were about to run some analysis. An independent organization hired us to do that work for them. So we did web scraping on INEC website to get that data. So web scraping is another skill, although we're not touching that aspect in this training, just for you to know. So what do we mean by web scraping? Web scraping simply means going to a website and then extracting data from different parts of the website to use, so you can use that data for analytic purposes. And then we also have public data sources. So one perfect example of public data source would be Wikipedia. How many of us have heard of Wikipedia before? Wikipedia. If you've heard of Wikipedia, please give me a reaction. Yes, Uju has heard of Wikipedia. Ayodeji, Taiwo, great. Elnora had heard of Wikipedia. Almost everybody on the call. I'm happy that you've all heard of Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is a perfect example of a public data source, because when you go there, search for any information and then add in Wikipedia as your keyword, go into the Wikipedia page, you see data that was created by individuals like yourself and myself. Okay, you can see information about an individual, a celebrity will be there put together on Wikipedia, and you can go and extract the data from that source. So Wikipedia is open source. You don't need any API to extract record from Wikipedia. All you just need is your read.html method or in Python programming language. Okay, so I did mention one tool. One of the packages I used for web scraping is Beautiful Soup. There's one package called Beautiful Soup. So as you are in this field of data analytics, you'll be hearing some interesting and funny names. Okay, just get used to it and try to familiarize yourself with those terms, because if you are to go for an interview, okay, as a data analyst, sometimes those questions will pop up. And one of the reasons why we take this course that we're taking very important is because these are the things they ask you during interview. So you need to know them. Very, very important, please. Make sure you know them. If you are yet to go through the material in the classroom, please go back after today's class, go through these materials meticulously. Have your note and paper, jot those things down. Make sure you understand them, because when you get to interview, outside the practical aspects that your what's it called now, the person who is interviewing you wants to see, they also want to test your theoretical knowledge about some data concepts, and that is why we teach this course at DataFad Academy. Okay, one other data source is internal data. So internal data is like the example again that Blessing mentioned for some companies having databases. Now that could be an internal data source. They generate it internally, right? You could be, your company might be working on, maybe it could be a business or a company who produce some particular product, and they push their product out there. People get to buy their product. So as people are buying their product, they are collecting data from those people. DataFind is a perfect example of a company who generates data. Like every one of you now, your basic information is with us. Your name, your email address, your phone number, and those information we collected, they are used for different purposes. Before you receive email for this meeting, we do not ask you to give us your email again. And that was one of the reasons why we get your emails. So we get your email so that we can, when we're scheduling our live sessions, we can just go to the data bank or our database, pull your emails, and then send invitations. If we need your phone number to communicate with you, to talk to you about any important issue, we go back to our database, we get your phone number, and we talk to you, right? So that is how companies generate data. They can generate data in any different aspect. That is what they call internal data. Then we also have sensor networks. So sensor networks is what is the power that this, what is it called now? Internet of Things. Internet of Things. Who have heard of IoT lately? IoT, Internet of Things. Have anyone on this call heard of Internet of Things? So IoT is a technology that drives a lot of devices, a lot of streaming, like sensory data. For instance, the ability for these AI guys to be able to develop a self-driving vehicle, they combine different, including Internet of Things, because the vehicle that is driving itself is getting a lot of sensory data from the, what's it called now, from the what's this thing called? I forgot it again. There's this word I just left my head. All this antenna kind of thing that's they put in the space. There's a lot of communication going in and out for it to get signal. Even for your phone to get signal, a sensory data that is being sent here and there. So a lot of devices, they use the technology under Internet of Things to operate. Okay, and that is why you can use some security in your vehicle because you're sending and receiving data from your vehicle. And that's the reason why you can put a camera in your house today and then you see it from your phone because they're using the power of sensory or sensor networks and so on. So data is being sent and received through those devices. And that's the reason why you can use those devices even without having a direct contact or a direct connection with those devices. That is sensor networks. And then we have, lastly, social media platforms, social media and online platforms, which we've talked about, the TikTok, the Instagram, the Facebook, the YouTube, and so on and so forth. So data is being gotten from all of these sources. So I believe that now, if anybody asks you, can you mention one data source? Confidently, you can mention. Now, the questionnaire, the survey, and they are also data source. These lists are not, they are not exhaustive. Like we have not exhausted the entire data sources. This is just a few of them, including what some other people on the call mentioned that I didn't capture in this on my slide. So they are all data sources. Does that make sense? Please, do you now understand what we mean by data sources? Okay, thank you very much, Anolu Akbar, for your reaction. Thank you, Runo. Thank you, Elnura. Thank you, Taiwo. And thank you, everyone. Now, having gone through the list of data sources that we have, it's time for us to talk about data types. This is when we are getting into some technical aspects. So I'd like you to pay maximum attention because from here, you need to transfer the knowledge you get from here into your next week's class on Google Sheets. So please pay attention, ensure you understand what I'm about to teach you about data types. There are two broad classes of data types. The first one is called qualitative or categorical data. So data can be classified either as qualitative, so either I call it qualitative or categorical. Or we have quantitative data. So it's either qualitative data or quantitative data. Just from the top of your head, who can tell me what you think would be a best description for qualitative data based on your own understanding? Don't forget, we are not all about perfection or getting the perfect answer from anyone, but we just want you to try. What do you think is qualitative data? Anolu Akbar. Okay, Taiwo's hand went up first. Let's hear from Taiwo first before Anu will speak. Yes, Taiwo, please go ahead. Qualitative data.
Qualitative data should be a kind of data to qualify a particular object or situation.
Beautiful, beautiful. Can you just give me a round of applause? That is just what it is. Just from the name of that class of data, you're able to even tell what kind of data it is. Yes, let me hear from Anu Akbar before I share my own view. Anu, please go ahead. Can I mute your mic? Let's hear you. Your mic is muted, Anu, in case you're saying something.
Qualitative data to me means something that can't be measured.
Okay, something that can't be measured. Okay, that is also very correct. Like when is the data that gives quality, that tells you the quality about something, of course, you don't expect such kind of data to be measured. And then quantitative data, as the name implies, something that can be quantified, right? Something that can be measured, right? That is qualitative and that is quantitative. I'll go deeper into these two concepts for better understanding, and everyone will understand what we mean by qualitative and quantitative data. Now, for qualitative data, just like what I said, is something that tells you quality of a thing or that qualifies something. It is either ordinal or nominal. It's either ordinal or nominal. Now, like I said, it is either called qualitative or categorical. Any data that can be used to categorize stuff is said to be a qualitative data. Whenever the categories can be placed in a given order, we call such kind of qualitative data ordinal. And whenever the categories cannot be used to place any form of order, we call such nominal. With these few points of mine, I want to ask a question. Who on this call, for a gift, will give me an example of ordinal data or an example of qualitative data? Not even ordinal, it could be ordinal or nominal. Who on this call for a gift? Yes, Bruno, let me hear your thoughts.
For ordinal, I think an example is like let's say like satisfaction levels. Why I think for nominal, example is like color names, codes. Yes.
So sweet. Please give her a round of applause. Give Bruno a round of applause. That is actually correct. Let's appreciate how. That is actually very correct. Chadema giving us example of these two. So if I come to everybody on this call and I begin to ask you, tell me your favorite color. And Taiwo says his favorite color is green. I'm not saying your color is green because your name is having a green background. And Oluwakwa says her favorite color is blue. That's because you're having a blue DP. Then Blessing says her favorite color is black or maybe brown because she's a brown skin girl. And then Eleonora says her favorite color is white because she has white background. Bruno says her favorite color is brown because she has brown. Covenant says pink and the rest. So now we can use this information to classify those of you based on your favorite color. True? I can form different categories. So I say, okay, everyone that loves green, come here. I call them greenhouse. Everyone that loves blue, come here. I call them blue house. Everyone that loves brown skin people, come here. So we have formed categories. But can we in any way use those colors to form different order to say, okay, greenhouse, let's call you people, you are the most important people, so you are the first people. The people that first, except there's a sport like those days we're in secondary school or primary school, and we go for sports. We say, hey, yellow house came first, green house came second. That is when they start using that too. But without having any competition, without going to any competition, any kind of form of games, if you have those colors and you classify people under their favorite color, there is no way we want to form order. Or is there a way we can form order with colors? I'm not hearing anything from anyone. Give me thumbs down. No, beautiful. We can't form any order. So it means that we can only use such kind of data to form categories, to place people under different categories, but there is no form of order. But when it comes to, hey, those of you on the call, if you fall between age, for instance, age 18 and 20, please come here. If you are under age 20 and 22, come here. If you are under age 22 and 24, come here. 24 and 25, come here. And the rest. So what have we done? We have formed categories. True? We have formed categories based on different age group, right? I need reactions, please. Right? No reactions. Let your hand be close to your phone or your laptop. Good, we have formed categories. But can we use those categories to form a particular order? Can we form an order with the categories? Yes, we can form an order. We can form either ascending or descending order. So such kind of data is called ordinal qualitative data. It's ordinal and it's also qualitative. Then why color we mentioned the other time is nominal because it cannot place order to it. So whenever I think of categorical data, whenever I think of qualitative data, think of something that is used to classify. Other examples to be the month of the year, years, 1988, 1989, 19. Why did I start from 1988? Maybe because that was the year I was born. Never can tell. 2000, 2001, 2002, all of those. So years is also an example of qualitative data. Or do you think otherwise? Do you think years should be quantitative? Who is going to oppose my claim? So that's a claim. So I claim that year should be a qualitative data and not quantitative. Who wants to oppose that? Ah, nobody. Okay, they are scared of me. All right, because I'm a teacher, right? Okay, Ayodeji want to oppose that. Let me hear you, Ayodeji.
Sorry, good evening. So you
Hello.
said years. Do you mean your age or year? Like
No,
year
not
in
necessarily my age.
general?
I'm talking about year now, like 2000, 2001, 2002, and so on and so forth.
Well, I think year cannot be quantitative. Let me say qualitative.
And are you sure that we can use year to quantify something to say, okay, between 2000 and this 2000 and 2000 and something is a particular number of years? Okay,
Well,
don't
you're
worry.
right. Well, you explain. You explain. You're the teacher. Go on.
Teacher.
Go on,
Okay.
please.
So, well, there are some kinds of data that falls under qualitative and quantitative. We see those when we get there, all right? But yeah, I want to put it to you now from the point of view that I'm explaining now, that year can be taken as qualitative, which means that I can use year to form categories. So if I'm into sales, I want to know how much sale do we make in 2022? How much sale do we make in 2023? And how much sale do we make in 2024? So 2022, 2023, 2024. I have formed 3 different categories and I have the sales under them. And then I can show that in a chart. So it is from here you need to understand the kinds of data sets we have, which will inform the type of charts you can plot once we get into visualization. Am I communicating? So whatever data that you think can be used to break things into different groups or into different categories is said to be qualitative. And I just picked some examples here. Okay, before that, for quantitative, it is either continuous or discrete. So what do you mean by continuous? It's either you have your quantitative data in decimal places. So I said can be divided. Continuous means that you could have something like 27.8. So any data that comes in that kind of number is said to be quantitative if no other meaning can be given to that number. You know, if I say your age comes in number. You can say, okay, I'm 30. 30 what? Because 30 can mean something, years. So 30 years, even 30 as a number can be a quantitative data. But by the time I begin to look at it from the point of, okay, you are 30 years, 31, let me now start grouping you guys, then it's no longer quantitative, but now qualitative. But if I'm giving you my age in years, just say I'm 30 years old, so at least you can quantify that okay, he had lived for 30 years on earth. And on as 30 years as an age can be put under quantitative data because I can quantify how many years you stayed. But by the time I begin to look at years of different people in different intervals or different groups, then age in that sense had come out from being quantitative to being qualitative because I have used the same age to form groups where I place different people under those groups. But if I'm talking about an individual's age, then I would be right to say it's a quantitative data and it is discrete because I don't think I've ever seen a place where somebody will say I'm 30.2 years old. Even if you are 30 years, 2 months, we only count our years in discrete numbers. I'm 30, I'm 21, I'm 37, yeah. So whenever you think of any data that comes in whole numbers, we call them discrete. Whole numbers, discrete. But for your weight, for instance, okay, let's say I weigh 70.2 kilogram. Of course, that's a continuous data. So weight, height, and maybe speed, all of those numbers that comes in continuous form. Even sales, you can make 150 naira 25 kobo sale. That is also a continuous quantitative data. Please, am I communicating? Am I communicating, please? Awesome. Now we have example of ordinal is test grade. Test grade is ordinal. So you know you can have grade like You have a grade of A, you have B, you have C. So that is a perfect example of categorical data that is ordinal. You can put the test grade. Okay, we know A comes before B, B comes before C comes before D comes before F, right? And what do we have after F? What can we have after F? That means that person didn't even lock the person up. Okay, so if anybody scores gets a grade that is below F,
Absent.
okay, the person is absent. That's actually true. The person is absent. So test grade is an example of the ordinal qualitative data. And then we have nationality. Nationality is an example I cited here for nominal. So nationality. So, what's your nationality? Oh, I'm a Nigerian. I'm a Ghanaian. I'm a South African. So you can group people under different nationality, and there is no form of ordering. You can't come and say I'm placing order to countries. No, you don't want to do that, because no country is more superior than other. We are all of equal this thing. Then for continuous, we have example distance. Like I mentioned, distance is an example of a continuous quantitative data, while cats is an example that is, when I say cats, I mean number of cats. They are counting cats, they are counting things. You don't count things in continuous form. You count things in discrete form. So I have 1 cat, 2 cats, 3. Like for me now, for instance, I have 3 cats. I have a cat and 2 kittens. So yeah, 3 cats. So okay. So those are different types of data. Yes. And once we go into what's it called? The practical aspect, you begin to see types of data from a different perspective again, where you learn about numeric data, you learn about string, you learn about list, tuples, dictionary. So that is when we begin to talk about types of data regarding a particular package, types of data with respect to Power BI. So now I'm giving you types of data in general when we talk about data profession, any data field. So this is the way we classify. So when we now begin to go into a particular package, like Power BI has its own types of data that it recognizes, and they build upon this idea. Whatever data type you talk about in any other package, they are under one of these that we've mentioned. Am I communicating? So in Power BI, you have like your text data, you have your numeric data, you have your date time data, you have your different types of data in that form. They are under this. When you get to Python, there are other types of data that will be introduced to you. They also they get their foundation from what you have just learned and going forward. So that's why it's good for you to know this. Very, very important. We also talked about this in the classroom. Please, if you are yet to go through this material, go through those materials, you'll learn more. Yes, let's push quickly. Let's move with speed, because I have to jump off this call shortly. Now we have overview of data analytics tools. So what are the tools? What are the tools you need to know to become or to be called a data analyst? Number 1, SQL. What is SQL? SQL is called Structured Query Language. So it's a very high-level programming language that data analysts and data professionals use to interact with databases, structured relational databases. Am I communicating? Relational databases. So that is what SQL is. So as a data analyst, at the least, you should have SQL skill. You should know how to communicate with database, because you find yourself in situations where you'll be called upon to scoop or to extract data from the database. The only thing the database understands is SQL. You have to give it command in its own language. Thankfully, you will learn SQL as you continue to training with us at Datafied Academy. Another tool, spreadsheet. So it could be Google Sheets, it could be Microsoft Excel. So you should have spreadsheet knowledge as a data analyst. Okay, but at Datafied Academy, we choose to teach Google Sheets. But as we're teaching Google Sheets, we will show you similar things to do on how to do that in Excel. You may want to ask, why do we choose Google Sheets? We choose Google Sheets because Google Sheets is more open for collaboration, even though Excel also does allows for collaboration these days with 365, but it's still not affordable for every businesses to own 365. Yeah, Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365 is a web version of Microsoft solution, Microsoft Office. You have Microsoft Word, Excel, and the rest. They are in the cloud. But Google is very affordable with your, provided you have a Gmail account. You have access to Google Sheets, Google Doc, Google Slide. You have access to Classroom. You have access to a whole lot of tools. And businesses who may not be able to afford Microsoft products and want to do collaboration, want to collaborate, they use Google for their day-to-day operations. And that is the reason why, one of the reasons why we've chosen to use to teach you how to do analytics with Google Sheets. But the good thing is that every knowledge you learn from Google Sheets can be transferred to Excel. I started my journey with Excel because then there wasn't Google Sheets when I started doing analytics. Google Sheet was not, it wasn't even there. But I learned Microsoft Excel. Immediately, Google Sheets became, very, very, very common and the rest. When my first encounter with Google Sheets, I didn't have to pay anybody or go for any extra lesson to know how to use Google Sheets. I only transferred my knowledge from Excel to Google Sheets. So now that you're learning Google Sheets, in case you don't know how to use Excel before now, all you need to do is to transfer your knowledge from Google Sheets to Excel. And the next tool you need to learn is Power BI. Power BI is a data visualization tool. It is what will help you to create dashboards. And from dashboard, you get insights. So in fact, why is it called BI? BI simply means business intelligence. So it is mainly used to enhance businesses of organizations or individuals. So most companies use Power BI or they use Tableau. So those are two tools plus Google Looker Studio. Tableau, Looker Studio, Power BI. There are other visualization tools, but they may not be as common as these three I have mentioned. So thankfully at the Data Academy, we teach 2 out of those 3 tools. We teach Power BI, we also teach Looker Studio at advanced level, but Power BI at beginner's level. All right, and you also need Python skill at some point as a data analyst. So Python had helped me a lot of times. So Python is a high-level programming language that is used for data analytics and data science. In fact, it's called a multi-purpose programming language. Because outside being used for data analytics and data science, Python can be used for application development. It can be used for web development or web design. It can be used for app development, mobile app development. It can be used for back-end engineering. It's used for data engineering purpose. Where can't you use Python? Python can be embedded with SQL. Python can be embedded in Microsoft Excel. Python can be embedded in Google Sheets, in Power BI. And I've used Python with these different platforms that I just mentioned. So I'm not just saying it because maybe I'm thinking about it. I have used it practically at the course of my journey as a data analyst and data scientist. And then also it's in our advanced class, you learn how to use Python if you're interested in going advanced after this beginner's level. And next is R. R is another important tool for analytics, which is very similar to Python, but R is more focused on statistical analysis. But thankfully for the open source of R, it's now getting to have a lot of packages that allows it to do so much more that Python also does. Some people, all they use is R. They use R for machine learning, projects. They use R for analytics, and R is also awesome. It's very, very cool. But we don't teach R at Data Identified. But on request, we can also teach R on special request. So those are some of the tools and more. But at least you should know. You should start with these ones. Begin with SQL, Excel, and Microsoft. You can do your research. What are the tools that a data analyst should learn? One of the few you see will be SQL, spreadsheets, and visualization tools. So it could be Power BI, Tableau, any visualization tool. And then you begin to see Python, R, and the rest. All right, so these are the tools that you need to have or you need to know as a data analyst. So what are the concepts of data privacy? What do you mean by data privacy? So data privacy refers to the protection of an individual's personal information and the right to control how that information is collected, used, shared, or stored. Now, why do we teach about data privacy at the Data Academy? We teach you about data privacy because it is a very big offense if you collect somebody's data for one purpose and then you begin to use it for another purpose. It's a very big offense. And we don't want any one of our students or anyone who we pass through DataFight to be found in that or to be found in that particular web. Learn to treat data with high level of professionalism and privacy. Okay. So why data privacy is so important? Number one, it helps in protecting sensitivity data, compliance with regulations, maintaining trust, preventing data breaches, ensuring accuracy of data. Now, when you go to a lot of companies, there is this data privacy policy in most websites. Why? Because we don't take people's data and do anything with it. And you don't give people's data, you don't give out the data to just anyone who requests for it because it's your private information that people want to collect. So that is why we as a data company teach our students about data privacy. And it's important that they know what data privacy is. So it's a topic that we will continue to speak about, we continue to say, even as we move on with our training. But the reason why I'm rushing this aspect is because it's getting to the time where I have to leave for another class. Am I communicating? So data privacy is very, 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 very important, and we don't joke with it. So please try as much as you can not to put people's information or people's private information out anyhow. Once you begin to work with data, once you have the opportunity to get a job as a data analyst in any organization, please, I'll teach you a little bit about data privacy. Read more of the materials online in the classroom to get more information. So now let's wrap up with careers in data analytics. What are the careers? I'll just quickly read through this and you learn more about them as you continue our training. Yeah, you can become a data analyst. So what do you need to become a data analyst? Strong analytical and problem-solving skills, proficiency in SQL and Google Sheets or spreadsheet, experience with data visualization tools like Tableau or Power BI, knowledge of statistical analysis techniques. And that is the reason why you also take statistics as a course in our training. Then you can become a data scientist. So what do you need to become a data scientist? Proficiency in programming languages like Python or R, experience with machine learning techniques and algorithms, knowledge of data mining and statistical analysis techniques, strong analytical and problem-solving skills. You can become a business intelligence analyst. And what do you need to become a business intelligence analyst? You need a strong analytical and problem-solving skills, experience with data warehousing and data modeling, proficiency in SQL and Excel, knowledge of data visualization tools such as Tableau or Power BI. You can become a data engineer. Data engineer, what you need to become a data engineer are proficiency in programming languages such as Python or Java, experience with databases such as SQL Server, Oracle, or MongoDB, knowledge of data modeling and ETL. ETL means extract, transform, and load processes. Then strong problem-solving skills and attention to details. You can become a machine learning engineer, which is my field. That's my own skill, my own profession. I'm a machine learning engineer as a data scientist. You need such skills as proficiency in programming languages such as Python or Java, experience with machine learning libraries such as TensorFlow and PyChat or PyTorch, knowledge of deep learning techniques and neural networks, and very strong problem-solving mathematical skills. And that will be all for now. Thank you guys for listening to my lecture, and I hope you enjoyed every bit of it. You've gone through the journey of data analytics, introduction to data analytics. You are now very much equipped with an understanding of data concepts or data analytics concepts. And I hope that you are ready to move on with the journey as we begin our spreadsheet package from tomorrow. I wish you guys all the best. Begin to apply all of these things you've learned into your practical experience as you move with the refined actions before we call it a day. I must be a very wonderful teacher. Please, can you just give me a round of applause again as I have done a great job and there are no questions. Please, recap about data scientists. Okay, so data scientists are people who, someone wants me to recap quickly. They are people who, so what you do, in fact, because I'm a data scientist, I can just tell you without looking at that page. So what we do as data scientists is most of the times we collect data, we train some models, and we allow the models do things for us. In fact, that's what's called machine. So my area of data science is machine learning. So machine learning means teaching the machine to do a task that human being will do on a normal day without you being there. So, and how do you teach the machine? You give a lot of data set to the machine. The machine will learn from the data and begins to do what a human will do. For instance, you can train the machine to send emails for you. You can train the machine to do some predictions for you. You can train the machine to read your text for you. All right. So that is what data scientists do. Yep. Thank you, guys. And it's high time for us to draw the curtain. Please take note. Tomorrow being Monday at exactly 8 a.m., the materials for for next week's course will be released. Please, whenever you see any video, so most of our materials, they come in form of text and video. The videos are always in a YouTube link. We have our YouTube channel. Please try to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, it's very important for us. Subscribe now to our channel. When you watch any YouTube video, please just like the video. Just help us. Like, we're trying to put ourselves out there and to at least get some views and some likes. Like the video. You are free to leave comments in form of a question, or oh, this is interesting, or thank you for sharing. Leave your comments to any video you watch. And then if you want to share, there are some of the videos that are public. To anyone you see in the classroom is public, but the ones in our channel is not public. And that's why I'm putting it on our channel. If you go to our YouTube to search for it, you won't find them. Our live classes like this, they are usually not public. If anybody wants to get a live class, they should come and pay for the training. But the ones, the short videos you put on the classroom, they are public. So you are free to share with your friends. You are free to put it on your status, or share anywhere to say, oh, I learned something about this concept from Data Academy. Please go and learn it also. And one other important information, the WhatsApp group that was created, we created a WhatsApp group for a purpose of communication. So if you see any update from Datafy Technologies or any other person who happens to be a tutor or facilitator or a staff of Datafy, drop an update. Please, 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 kindly acknowledge. Give a thumbs up or say noted. Please acknowledge. All right. So the way we see that space is like a classroom, and someone comes into the classroom and give an important notice that and expects a response from the people, and everyone just starts staring at the person like this without saying anything, like you just ignore the person. So that's how we see it. If you don't acknowledge our messages, it's very important for us. And most times we'll say, please say done to this message, and people don't do that. Please acknowledge. We want to be able to track all the response. Remember, this is data company, and data is very important for us. And once more, again, our social media spaces, LinkedIn, IG, and Facebook, if we make a post, please do well to like our post, do well to share it, do well to engage with our post. From time to time, we usually put up quizzes where our students get some gifts from the quiz. When those quizzes are up, please try to engage, participate in the quiz, and just wish us well. Talk about Datafy. If you love what you're learning, if you love the experiences from Datafy so far, and I believe you're going to enjoy all your experiences, please talk about us and put us out there for people to know what we do. We're doing a great job. And thank you guys for choosing Data Academy. And I promise you that your experience will be very awesome. Try to stay, but help us to make your experience awesome by speaking out. If you have any challenges, you're unable to join the class, let us know. If your system crashed or anything happened, let us know. All right. If you have heartbreak, let us know. That is just me joking. Don't worry about that. So thank you guys. See you again next week. Thursday. See you on Thursday for our check-in session. Watch out for the materials from Monday. Don't wait till Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday before you start reading the materials. Start going through the materials ASAP once they are released. Bye-bye for the last time. Bye. See you again in our next class. Bye-bye.